Am I the idiot if I tell my friend her boyfriend is planning to propose? My 27F best friend has been dating her boyfriend, 26 male, for over 5 years. A while back, he reached out to me to help figure out the ring size and the setup so he could make this the most magical day for her. Having known my friend for over 20 plus years, I know exactly how she wants her proposal to go and who she wants to be there, so I relayed all this information to him months ago via texts and over the phone. I even took the time to covertly find and confirm which ring she would love the most. A little background. My friend is incredibly family and friend-oriented, and in the past expressed to me on multiple occasions, especially during the holiday season, that in the 5 years they've been together, he hasn't really made much an effort to indoctrinate himself into her family or friendships the way she has for his.
While I do generally like him, I have always felt that he is incredibly self-serving and self-focused.
Recently, through a mutual friend, I found out he started a group text between his, emphasis on his friends and his family to set up the time and date of the proposal. He has not only excluded me, and according to the screenshots I've seen, he is doing everything verbatim I suggested he do, but he has completely excluded her family and other close friends from the event. He is planning on only having his boys and family present for the occasion, and knowing my friend, this would ultimately break her heart not being able to share this moment with her loved ones. I got heated and called him. At first, he was dodging my questions, then just outright said, "This is my proposal and I've spent enough time and money to choose how I do it, just be happy for your friend. It's not like you're not coming to the wedding." This infuriated me, and to make matters worse, I ran into her mom and dad at the grocery store and subtly asked if they knew of any possibility she was getting engaged. They were unaware, and I know for a fact my friend has told him that he needs to ask her parents for their blessing. She's somewhat traditional, my friend wears her heart on her sleeve, and I can predict how this event will go down when she sees all of his close friends and family and none of hers. Considering her previous sentiments about his lack of interest in her family/life, she will 100% see this as being hurtful and selfish, and I know she'll cry.
To make matters worse, the location of the proposal is a whopping 30 minutes from her parents' home. I don't want to get involved in a fight or reveal the surprise, but on the other hand I feel I owe it to my lifelong friend to help her avoid being hurt and disappointed, maybe even helping her rethink what her future would look like with someone who just doesn't really appreciate what she values in life. So, am I the idiot if I tell my friend her boyfriend is going to propose? Edit. I did not tell her parents. I covertly inquired if he had spoken to them yet about proposing since it's been 5 years, like in a joking way.
Edit 2. The proposal is scheduled for this weekend. I will give you guys an update on how it goes. After so many responses, I have decided not to say anything and to let things play out. I gave him an opportunity by expressing the need to invite her parents and friends like she's always wanted, and he chose not to. That's on him, not me. The top replies. Do not tell her. As much as you know her and want this proposal to go as planned, it is ultimately up to her boyfriend how he wants to do it. If your friend is disappointed, then that can be her sign to discuss with her fiancé about moving forward. It is not your place to tell her or intervene at this point. The original poster reply.
Since this is the top comment so far, I'm hoping my response here will be seen by the masses. Fellow Redditors, let me make this super clear. You've convinced me tenfold not to say anything to her and to let things play out as they should.
I have done the extent of what I can by trying to reach out to him, and he decided not to listen to me. That's on him.
It's not my place to initiate a fight/problem and possibly ruin things before they even happen.
Trust me when I say, I am not going to go through with it. I see now that this is 1000% not my place regardless of my loyalty and relationship with my friend, and would be making things far worse by interjecting myself where I have no right to be. On a side note, I really just want you guys to understand that at the end of the day I'm a stranger to you, but more importantly, just like you, I'm only human. Please don't make hurtful assumptions on my character or my relationship with my friend based on a very brief summary of the situation. I know as well that this is the internet, and by posting here I've essentially invited such declarations on myself. But I came here for advice since I was admittedly operating in an emotional state, and nothing good comes from making decisions when you don't have a clear state of mind. All I ask is that you please be respectful and know that I have read and acknowledge that this has certainly earned a you or the idiot judgment.
Please just try for a moment to understand that we all have people in our lives we care deeply for and want only the best for them, and when we worry for them it can sometimes obstruct our judgment.
This doesn't make me a bad person or friend, just utterly and completely misguided. The second reply. Going against the grain here, but I would tell her. Abusers are really good at manipulating their victims. She needs to see the texts that he is purposefully not inviting her family, not asking her parents' permission and not caring about her feels but all him. The original poster replies. Last note to the people who might have experienced something similar and are leaving comments telling me to say something because they wish someone had said something to them in the past. It's easy to look back in retrospect and say with confidence that you had wished someone had told you, but admittedly you might have been in a completely different mindset back then. Who is to say for certain that you may not have had an adverse reaction to a friend who came to you with their 2 cents? Knowing what you do now and what you didn't know then makes you a completely different person. That's how time changes and forms us into who we become. While I clearly have strong opinions on her boyfriend and want nothing more than to give her my perspective, my role as her friend, as you've all helped me realize, has to be just that, her friend. I am not her mother or her boyfriend, and even if I were, she hasn't asked me for my opinion and it isn't right for me to just thrust it upon her out of nowhere. Unfortunately, there is no getting away from the fact that making either decision on whether I do or don't say anything will inevitably both end in negative outcomes. The only difference is that by not interjecting myself, I avoid an outcome where I'm at fault and possibly become her enemy, which may end up pushing her closer to him and further away from a support system that she may not realize she needs in the future. Not taking action is still an action, but I have to trust that she can handle making that decision herself. Update. To everyone who told me to keep my mouth shut, thank you. So on Saturday, the day of the proposal, I got a call from her boyfriend.
He was screaming at me, blaming me for not showing up, uninvited still, to the proposal with her parents because she was upset they weren't there.
I was effing slack-jawed. I told him I knew this would happen, and he says verbatim, "You just admitted you knew this would happen. So if you knew the whole time and you actually cared about her, you would have invited them." I was gobsmacked and hung up on him. Not even an hour later I get a call from her asking me to come to her parents.
According to her, this is how the situation played out. He popped the queue, she said yes, and the people he invited popped out from hiding.
She was bombarded by 4 of his guy friends, his mom, dad, older brother and his sister-in-law.
His parents were holding a sign that read, "Welcome to the family, Mrs. Insert his last name here, and this is where things go downhill. I did not know this before and I thought I knew everything, but my friend doesn't want to change her last name, and she's told him that repeatedly since they got together."
She's an only child from a Ukrainian family, and with everything going on with Ukraine in the last year she's doubled down. When she saw the sign she joked, "Mrs., his last name." "I think you mean Mrs., her last name." Everyone went silent until his mom said, "Well, the ring is already engraved, no changing it now."
She takes the ring off and sees, "Mrs., his last name," engraved on the band. Then she asked if her parents were coming.
He gave every excuse. He didn't have their number. There were too many people there. He wanted to keep it private and eventually said, "This was my proposal to you and now my family is your family. We can just send your parents the pictures later. She took the ring off and left. That's when I'm assuming I got that call from him. She went straight to her parents. She asked them about the engagement, they were clueless. She then asked if I knew anything. I asked if she was in the right place, she said she was, so I told her I would answer any question she had, rather than dumping everything on her. She was upset but thanked me. She was furious when I told her about the call from him earlier and said, "Does he really think I'm that shallow?" She said it wasn't about having a perfect proposal or her parents there, it was about him making the whole thing about himself as always, and she was done feeling ignored and belittled. So this was her breaking point. She's staying with her parents currently and has been receiving texts from him. The worst one so far is him telling her she has to pay him back for the ring and for ruining his life. Right now, all I can do is be here for her, and whatever decision she makes, I will fully support because, as you've all helped me realize, this isn't about me, it's about her. Not my monkey, not my circus. Edit. She gave him the ring back when she took it off. I didn't include that because I was at the 3,000 character limit already. The first reply. Thank you so much for the update. I've been looking for it all week. I'm so proud of your friend. It must have been so hard to take the ring off and walk away in front of all of his people. She has saved herself such hardship and trauma by nipping it in the bud. I can't believe that he thinks that she should pay for it after he had it engraved with something he knows she didn't want. It seems that he and his family were trying to force her to take their name. I guess he'll be going shopping for a new bride now that he has a ring, ha ha ha. I wish you and your friend much happiness. You're both strong. The second reply. Not the idiot.
Can you feel yourself growing? 'Cause you're. Be proud of yourself here.
The original poster replies.
Believe it or not, this whole situation has made me reevaluate a lot about myself.
I was told in many comments on my last post that I was coming off codependent and nosy. I took a hard look at myself and realized this wasn't the first time I was planning to overstep in a friendship. I take my friendships very seriously, but my loyalty can sometimes come off toxic and get me into trouble. I see now that the most important thing in a friendship is recognizing the autonomy of the other person and respecting that they can make their own decisions, whether they are good or bad, because it's their life, not mine. I've realized now that the times in my life where I overstepped, I was being a bad friend because it comes off as if I don't have faith in my friend's ability to judge things for themselves. You can't always protect or prevent things from happening to the people you love. You can only support them to the extent they want to be supported. The third reply. Don't tell your friend. I completely understand why you want to, but hear me out. Let this dude show his true colors. If you get in the middle, you entitled mom seem petty and jealous. Let him propose his way, and when your friend comes to you and complains, you can kindly and gently tell her that you tried to get him to incorporate her friends/family. Then you can gently ask her if she wants to spend the rest of her life with a man who doesn't honor her wants/desires. I repeat, just let this play itself out. YWBTA if you interfere prior to the proposal.